Hi there, guys. So I'm back after a few days off, and let me say, yesterday was a big day for me in the sense of my journey to recovery and my anxiety overall. So let's just start off by saying I went to a friend's wedding yesterday, and my anxiety was fighting against, you know, just being there and being surrounded by people, you know, to even be in a car for, first of all, 3 hours until, I got to the actual venue. That was something deep for me. And it was the urge to just get away from the awkwardness and try to dodge sort of me being in the spotlight. So when someone asks me a question, I would be replying normal, but there's always that sense of overthinking. But I still ended up overriding that. But it still didn't keep me away from feeling the anxiety when I walked into the venue. So as I walked in, let me just say, I was overwhelmed. Like towards the beginning, like at the entrance, there was quite a few people, and because this is my friend's wedding, of course, all my other friends were there, and at least 95% of the place, people in the place, I know them personally. And what's worse is I haven't seen like most of these people in a very long time, and I was sort of ready to keep saying the same thing, like, how have you been? I've been good. And just saying hi to people, greeting people, and just doing like that small talk non-stop until I actually found a seat. And once I found a seat, it sort of did reduce slightly, but it was still intense because I now had to keep my, physical self as composed and not show that I'm like feeling out of place. So it's like I'm not trying to give it out to people like there's something wrong with this guy. And I was trying to not keep my eyes fixed on a specific thing. So I was going through sort of a ritual in my head where I scanned the room from sort of left to right, right to left, and I was doing it in sort of a smooth manner. So for people that have anxiety, the worst thing is, other people finding out you have anxiety unless you've told them. And once they do, there's that feeling of like, now this is such a shame. Like, I know it sounds wild, but there's that feeling that you feel, less than others. Like, why are you scared is what people use nowadays. So anxiety is just, the heart racing feeling. The palms are sweaty, legs are shaky, hands are just shaky like that. And you're just coming off overall as someone that's like scared of something. So a lot of people could presume that he's scared of me, or I'm just intimidated. And it makes me as a character, first of all. Last few years I used to be a guy that's always out there, always on job, like I'm doing what I'm doing, and I was always masked up and performing like I'm the hard guy, like nothing gets to me. And all of a sudden, now that I've got anxiety and I don't use drugs or any tablets or anything to mask anything, it just makes me that bit more vulnerable. And it really is a big contrast for people that see me the way I was before and see me now. So unless I've got to, walk through each person one by one, like I had a panic attack a few months ago, and a lot of people be like, what is a panic attack? What does it feel like? They're like, oh, is there like that feeling before you do a presentation? And that's like, bingo, that's the feeling. And it just goes to show that, you've probably been using something, so people do assumptions and all those things. But anyways, back onto the wedding. So I was there for a few hours, so 3 to 4 hours in the actual venue. And then after that was the photographs, walking up to the actual stage where the groom was sitting. And that feeling of just complete overwhelm when everyone is standing. And now, because I didn't have someone, walking with me, and it's not like I'm going to tell somebody, like, come walk with me over here, or use them as a shield to get away from the rest of the people. It doesn't work like that. So I've literally got to embrace it. And when I talk to people, I'm now doing a few things. So instead of just having a conversation and just being open with them and flowing naturally, I'm being calm and composed. Like, I'm not trying to give away that I've got anxiety. At the same time, there's that part in me that's like, all right, just be natural now. And I also wasn't talking like, you know, as grounded as I'm talking right now as well. It was more in the sense of my body's clenched up inside and my voice was like this. Like I was talking a bit less, like I was shrinking myself. And I realized that like halfway through, and I wanted to sort of combat that and just stop, like just be natural. So I was like opening up inside, breathing a bit more, but I couldn't get my voice to open up loud because in order to do that, I've got to be comfortable in what I'm saying and who I'm talking to. So because everything's unpredictable and people's energies are so different, like some of the people that I'm talking to, because it's been years as well, it's understandable that they are taken back a bit, like from just the sort of interaction itself, and they did come off like they were like a bit struck, like with, you know, just a little bit of anxiousness that's just natural. But when I see that in a person and I'm dealing with it as well, I've learned the skill that a lot of the coaches say, like try to make the other person comfortable so you forget about your discomfort. So I was using that tactic, and it's sort of a secondary thought that I also have, which is, am I giving the other person anxiety now because I'm moving shifty? Is this other person now picking up shifty vibes, and am I just ruining it, you know, for people? And you know, I shouldn't care about how I come across to other people as long as I'm good within myself and I'm just being expressive. But I can't really break out of the shell that, you know, just masking and trying to act like nice, you know, like come across as like one of them. Like I'm not trying to fit into the society, like, you know, with everybody else, like, all right, I'm acting like this person, I'm doing this, is that. But it's more in the sense of, if I be just like this and just completely embodied and grounded, I feel like I'm gonna crack and just slip up, and then I'm gonna say something that's not funny. So usually when you're fully relaxed, you can make jokes, you can be loose.